Critters in Taiwan.
I mean, pretty sure I turned you down to a good level. I listened to the last one and I didn't notice that you were louder. So I guess if I didn't hear it, then we should be fine.
You've got the ears, my friend. I got the looks. You got the ears.
That's how it works. Yeah. One of us has got to get the nose one of these days. Because, when I look at the levels, I get up into the red, but you don't, But
That's what she said.
yeah. Sure. That's totally what she said. Hey, bro, we're on.
We're on the internet. Say, welcome to Critters in Taiwan, a D&D podcast about Critical Role, where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons & Dragons. I am Ben in Kaohsiung.
I'm Tim in Taichung.
And we're Critters in Taiwan. Listen, man, this was a long episode, yeah?
Was it long?
I turned this one on.
It certainly was long.
5 hours, 20 minutes, 28 seconds on Twitch.
On the Twitch stream, yeah.
So that's like a 15-minute intro and like a 5-minute outro. So it's about 5 hours solid.
Well,
I mean, with the break.
Yeah, but also with the reads in the beginning, So that was over at like 22, 23, something like that.
Only 3 ad reads. They were quick ones. It was Thorum. It was there's some scheduling stuff, and then Travis talking about Legend of Vox Machina, and that's it.
Yeah,
real quick. Quick ad
5
reads.
hours, and then what would the break be?
20 minutes.
20 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
I never actually timed it out.
I don't know. I skip through it most times unless there's anything interesting.
I always do, unless
But
I go through it like 2 minutes at a time to see if there's anything new.
Same. Yeah. We should talk about what this episode is called. So this is Critical Role, Campaign 3, episode number 49. The Aurora Grows.
Okay.
Yeah.
My first point has something to do with that title.
Hey,
that's the first time I've heard the title, but I still have something about that title.
Yeah, there's some Aurora stuff going on. Yeah. I thought it was it was fun. I really enjoyed Matt's description of this Aurora Borealis, Aurora. What's the one in the south called?
Australis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. that sort of that mixing of the electromagnetic energy that's going on.
Anti-magic, perhaps.
Or
they could have called it the Roaring Aurora. Come on.
I love when you try to put physics and science into D&D. Yeah. It always makes me laugh when people go, "You can't do that. It's not physically." Fucking magic, dude. It's magic. Like, you can do whatever you want. This is fantasy.
Yeah,
high fantasy.
Game.
You think Tolkien gave a shit about your physics? He didn't care about Newton one little bit.
Yeah. It always makes it a little weird
works.
when they try to put physics into it, like in a movie or a show or even a book or anything like that. And it's like, dude, don't bring that in. Keep this magical, dude.
It's Rick and Morty-esque, right? Like, it's when people start talking about science and stuff, when Rick just sort of looks at them and goes, "Nope, we're out, Morty." And I love it.
Yeah. Man, so the name again, it was the
Aurora Grows.
The Aurora Grows. Oh, okay. I thought you said roads.
Oh, you got a little thing.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm also a little bit. I think I got a little virus or something like
that.
There's
I blame it on the pollution in Kaohsiung. It's gray down here. Very great.
Check that out, but I'm feeling it. My voice is all deep today and a little bit yesterday.
Can I just quickly go back to the what you said earlier about the ad reads? Yeah. That Thorum ad read that Sam did with the TikTok doing his. I don't think it came off that way, but the what's the word? Damn it! What's the word I'm looking for? Not pandering. The passive aggressiveness about how condescending it felt to me. That's all I was getting, was just like, this is the dumbest thing ever, and I hate it, and that's why I'm doing it, because
maybe he's parroting. That's what it felt like to me. Not parroting, but parodying.
Parodying.
Yeah,
maybe,
because he's doing it, and I'm assuming that he was actually making one.
Oh yeah. Did you see you saw the GoPro on the gas cam?
Yeah.
The gas, gas can, gas cam, gas cam. There it is. I got it.
Gas can. Okay,
Right.
now
Right.
I caught up. I got you.
So he's got the GoPro, and it was controlled by the dudes in the control room.
Okay.
He posted that video on Twitter, and I watched it, and it was hilarious. It's actually it was recording, and it did post it, and it did do a thing. It's kind of neat. You actually get to see some behind the scenes stuff of the studio, like some of the wood things that are the frames and
right. Well, you get this
screens and stuff.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of a different camera angle, which was kind of fun.
How long was the clip? It couldn't have been more than
5 seconds.
Okay, I was gonna say
like 10 seconds. It was real quick.
You can bring it up. I think he just wrote on there Sam's gas cam. Is that what he wrote?
It's just him. It's just him picking it up. He reaches over. You see him reach over, pick it up. He drinks. He says something. He puts it down. He talks to Laura for a quick second, and then he puts it back down again.
Yeah, wasn't a lot to it, but yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that little clip.
It's on Twitter somewhere. You can find it.
I never stepped foot in that
Made me
place.
giggle. And then speaking of cameras, the Twitch was real glitchy this week. Yeah,
it was. I didn't notice for the second half because I only watched half of the second half.
It was pretty bad the whole episode, and so I thought it was me. I thought it was maybe just something we were getting, but not.
Same.
Chat was constantly complaining about it. Why is it so glitchy? Oh yeah, I'll wait for the YouTube, but I never checked the YouTube stream, but I bet it was glitchy also.
Oh yeah, that's today, isn't it? Oh shit, that's right. It's also another Two Bears. Fuck. I'm all behind. There's also a new episode of fucking Last of Us that I haven't watched yet.
It is
came out
awesome.
Like this morning.
It is awesome.
God damn they're all awesome. It's wonderful.
They are flying through that. I mean, it's almost done. It's going to be the whole video game. The Last of Us is going to be the season. So they're almost done it. It's like 6. They said 10, 8. I forget it. They said 8 or 10. I forget.
Yeah, I mean, like I heard 9, I heard 10. I feel like nobody really knows, but somebody going through the game, they're with the last one. I'm not going to spoil anything about that show. That's
why
like
not?
a third of the way through.
Yeah, well, you haven't seen 6 yet, so
no. So maybe they jump quite a bit. They do. Who knows?
Oh, do they? Okay. Yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it.
Check it out. I forgot to download it, but I don't want to download while we're doing this because we'd be all fucking critical rolled out.
Maybe I should
all these things.
I should probably do that too. Damn it.
Oops. Yeah. I mean,
I'll leave it alone.
Ended my task of the thing, so I can make sure. But I got to remember to download it before I hop off here.
Let's get into this. Shall we do some rollies?
Let's get some rollies.
As we do.
Yeah, let's get some rollies going. I wouldn't mind getting out a little bit. I got to see my boy after this, so I'm going to upload it and then take right the fuck off. So,
all right.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go.
Of course, I'm going to win my 13.
Fucking natural 20, yo.
Dude, this guy is on a fucking
weirdly
fake roll.
Yeah, again, pointing towards you. Like it's weird. It's like
it's always for me.
Yeah, it's pointing. It's like a big.
The natural 20, you fuckhead. I just did a compare roll between my 2 dice for my next roll. I got a 3 and a 1. Fuck's sake, I'm doomed.
I didn't actually want this one.
I did want it.
I don't because I don't have. Listen, this was a 5-hour episode with a lot of just fucking around. Yeah. Like, not that that's a bad thing, but there was no lore. There was no real questions. This whole episode. So maybe that's my first point. This whole episode felt like a couple of things. It felt like a real gift to a DM. Like, here, roll a d20 to see how the day's travel is. Yeah. Okay, that day's travel is done. I'm just gonna sit back and let you guys have some conversation. Yeah. There was a lot of Matt saying, does anybody else have anything they'd like to do? Anybody else have it? And you would? Okay. And then, okay, if there's nothing else anybody would, okay, good. Roll a d20 for the next day's travel. Roll a d20 and rinse, wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
It felt like a lot of that was going on, which isn't bad.
No.
There's nothing wrong with it. It just felt like it was sort of like, this is, we're getting to 50. We're getting to episode 50.
And he gets to sit back and kind of play the game, as much as they do, because when he gets to roll those things, how much he loves that,
Yep.
Like roll a 20, all right, and then he rolls something, perhaps I don't know what he's doing back there, but It's got to be fun for him.
We've talked about this before about him being a real lousy poker player. I am still, whenever they bring up the fact that this is the end of the world kind of stuff, he's got a tell. He's got those tells, and I think this is Calamity 2.0. I think this is the end of the world. I think they are releasing Predathos, and I think this is gonna be the fucking awesomest. I think there's gonna be a massive 50. World's gonna end. They're gonna massive time jump, and the next episode is gonna be like 5 years later.
Oh, I didn't write it down. Okay, well.
Anyway, I'm jumping ahead. That's my point. Is that this episode was 5 hours of meh.
Yeah. I didn't write it down. It must still be in my phone somewhere, I guess. Or maybe I just forgot to write it down. But I'll go ahead and yes and on that with Matthew's, just kind of riding these coattails here for a second. One thing that I do know right now is that Matthew has a plan. You know, and like, of course, he's always got a plan. Of course, he always does. But with what you were just saying there, that you caught a little bit more than I did, was just sitting back and like, you know, kind of prompting them to do some more things. You know, just like, hey, you want this, you want this, and the fact that it was such a long episode, but not a ton happened. It I don't know. I think Matthew's just sitting there, and in the beginning of the episode, I believe it was this one. Taliesin says, he's like, oh, at least one person is prepared for the apogee solstice. And then Matthew's like, I really am. Like, he wasn't subtle about it. He said something along those lines with that kind of gumption. Yeah, he's sitting at the eye of the storm right now. Oh, just like, here we go.
I said this, or we talked about this a couple of weeks ago about the whole idea that this is a brand. Yeah. This is a business model. So there has to be, as much as they can say like, you know, fuck around and find out. Matt is actually, of course he does, because guaranteed Travis and all of them have been talking, like Travis is the CEO and Marisha is the creative director, and then merch and all of that stuff. This is a business entity that they have to have a direction forward. This isn't just a sitting at home table and playing a game. As much as it isn't. There is a business here. So there has to be.
Luckily for them, it is a game that a lot of people like.
No, I'm saying
pretty fortunate.
The two aren't mutually exclusive. Like, you can have all of those things and still have the other things. It's great.
For sure,
They're winning life. That's what's happening here.
Really, that's what they're doing. Like, they say it a couple of times, like, our job is weird. They're all using that cookie and talking to it like they're talking to Dorian.
It's like, Orum, it's a cookie. Orum, it's a cookie. No!
They are winning for sure. Yeah. You know, they I don't want to say lucked out, because that's, you know, you can't put too much on luck for these kinds of things.
No, but they worked hard to get to this point.
Totally, they did. I mean, in the beginning, it was fairly serendipitous, and then they're like, oh shit, we have a following. Let's turn it into something.
Unless you inherit wealth, it's always serendipitous. It's got to be a luck, and even inheriting wealth is still a bit of a genetic roll of the dice at some point. Yeah,
and at the table, Ashley, Taliesin, Sam, as far as I understand, are the only three that actually came from wealth, right? I don't know about Travis, and I don't know much about Laura.
No, they said that they came from humble backgrounds as well. Liam as well. Liam was a poor kid in New Jersey. Matt was a poor kid in Florida.
Yeah.
Marisha, real poor kid out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I think Travis out of Dallas. Texas, anyway.
Somewhere in Texas, yeah. I mean, probably Dallas because of his
Cowboys,
sports
love of the Cowboys.
Manship. What was I going to say? I forgot. Doesn't matter.
I forget where. Talison's from L.A. Ashley's from L.A.
Yeah.
But where is Laura from?
I don't really know.
Mystery. If you know, let us know.
Yeah. Laura, we know you're watching. We're on to Rollies number 2?
Hey, let's do some Rollies number 2.
Let's do it. I'm going to win this one. I want to win this one.
All right. 3, 2.
I'll do it with the 7 for sure.
And 11.
God damn it, Ben.
7.
Give me
11.
one. I don't want a yes and with this point. It's not really a yes and point.
Well, I'm gonna jump back a little bit. I get a time stamp on this one. 42 minutes and 44 seconds in the Twitch stream.
Love a timestamp.
Marisha drops Trent's name when she meant to say Ludinus. And Matt quickly looks at her and goes, no, wrong campaign. It's Ludinus. And instantly I was like, did the whole woo. That to me was a little bit of a Mighty Nine Freudian slip, a Freudian Mighty Nine slip, because
What?
I think they're going back and watching Mighty Nine episodes, preparing for the Mighty Nine animated series, and they've got Mighty Nine on the brain. I think that's it's exciting. That's what I'm saying. It's like it was a really exciting moment because I think that they're all doing Mighty Nine stuff, getting ready for this, and it's good. It's good.
Yeah,
It's
is
good.
exciting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I constantly think, because these things are pre-recorded live. It's funny that people get that confused. Like, how can it be live if it's pre-recorded? It's like, all right. But if you don't get it, go fuck off. It's pre-recorded live. So they have, who knows, maybe 2 more episodes already recorded. Sure. It's possible. But
I think they're at the point where they're having meetings right now, and they're doing like table reads. They're not table reads. They're doing like table. What do they call those things when they sit at they're doing creative storyboarding? That's what I'm trying to think.
There we go.
They're doing like the storyboarding where they're just like, okay, this happens. Here's this arc, because the campaign 2 was really arc driven.
Yeah.
One arc after one arc after one. It was all it. So it would be broken into chapters, much like similar to Legend of Vox Machina.
Yeah. Then also with 7 people at the table, 7 episodes, an arc each, and then just overarching stuff. Like
Who knows?
Who knows? Or maybe they get more episodes. I have no idea how it's going to go.
Is it going to be concurrent with the Legend of Vox Machina animated series? Is it going to be like, right? Oh man, exciting.
It is exciting. It's like even with the having seen their animated characters before the thing comes out, it still seems more conducive, like more like kooky characters that have. There seems to be more to the characters than the first campaign.
Sure. Sure.
And it's right there and obvious and way.
And we've talked about this
colorful.
too. Is that we've already seen the animation. They've got the animation. They've got many different versions of animation because they have all the recaps were all animated as well. So
eyelash my eye.
Uh-oh.
Been there for 17 minutes, I think.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
even with that before it, like it just the colorfulness and the depth of the characters and the arcs, it seems like it's just so much. It's going to be easier. Perhaps as a watcher, listener, to be like, yeah, of course they can make that. Like it's like a ton of work, sure, but easier overall. Just like, no, these characters write themselves, kind of thing.
And like Legend of Vox Machina gets into a bunch of trouble, but they were heroes. The Mighty Nine were not really heroes. They were just a bunch of bumbling assholes that sort of bumbled their way around Wildmount. So
yeah. Stumbled across a situation where they could help the fucking world. Where's she coming? There's the lazy girl.
She's looking. Oh, are you okay?
Oh, she's busy, huh?
She's looking for something. I don't know.
Is she gonna find it?
Say hi. Say hi.
Hey, lazy girl.
Okay.
She's like, Dad, I'm busy. God.
I'm trying to figure this out, man.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna go ahead and yes, and if I may, I don't have a. No, I'm not gonna do a yes and for this one. When I win a fucking roll, I'm gonna tell you this one.
Okay.
Any predictions about Opal with the spider crown? Because she kind of came up a little bit, and like they had the EXU before, and then they had it where she completely changed her visage, right? Not just her visage, but her appearance.
I'm gonna pull a meta on this one and just say this is Matt not wanting to deal with the Crown Keepers right now.
Okay.
That's my take. He also he sort of pulled the same thing with Nana Mori and was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna Nana. I can't help you. I'm hurt. I'm dealing with an injury right now. I think this is the meta. This is Matt being like, yeah, you're on your own. You got to figure this out by yourself.
Yeah. And Matt did at one point. He did say he was like, there are only so many seats at the table, and also he kind of jived. Is that the right word? At the hey, let's just call every guest we've ever had and bring him into the fucking final conflict. It's like, no, we'll amass troops. Yeah, and then we'll send them your way if they can,
That's my take on it. I wonder if there will be like a Calamity 2.0 kind of a thing, and a bunch of people do get referenced. a bunch of things like the Crown Keepers, like the Mighty Nine, like the like wherever the remaining members of Vox Machina are. There's a few of them at Whitestone, yeah, and then like we don't know where the rest are.
Yeah.
I think there might be reference to that. Man, if I can just sort of, if I get when all of the Keyleth stuff was going on, where Keyleth sends the message and all of that stuff, and then at the very end of it, she's like, "I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there." I was like, "Oh, Matt's killing Keyleth." That's instantly my instant thought was, "Well, that's it for Keyleth. Bye bye. Ludinus is going to kill her," or something along those lines. I was like,
interesting.
That was my instant thought. You want to have tears at this table? That's the way to do it.
Yeah, it is a way to do it. I mean, ending the world, for fuck's sake. I mean, they're all still talking about it kind of loosely, but it's the overlying thing. I mean, like, at least we talk about it all the time, and like, I don't know about how other listeners are paying attention to this kind of thing. It's like, dude, he's gonna destroy Exandria. Like, we're pretty fucking sure of it. How else do you make a calamity, out of a fucking epic?
Right. It's the idea that Predathos gets released and munches on a bunch of gods and then fucks off for a while, and then they're left to pick up the pieces, whatever that means. Exandria is a completely different place, or doesn't exist. Who knows? So it's interesting.
Who was it in this episode? I'm pretty sure it was in the second half that I might have been Dorian, but I'm not sure. Matthew waited like a good solid dead air, like 8 to 10 seconds before he made a decision to respond. Was that Dorian?
I think that was Dorian. Yeah.
Okay. Because I wonder what was going through his head. It's like,
yeah, I think he was thinking about. He's like, how do I put this to get Dorian? Okay, no, he's there. And Opal. Okay, right. So now I need. Okay, yeah, that's why Dorian can't come.
Like putting some things together.
I think he was putting some. I think he was sort of like putting. I don't think it was like he was making things up. I think he was just sort of going keeping
track.
Yeah. Okay, right. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, because like he's got a little bit to hide behind, not hide behind, but to get somewhere fast, you need to teleport if you're going to get there on time, right?
Yeah.
Because he said also. Yeah, the airship is basically the fastest way to travel unless you're not tree striding Keyleth, Marisha, transporting via plants,
Yep.
And I don't think a lot of them have access to it, especially not at level 8.
Not at level 8. 9 is when the 5th level spells come in, so that's where like Greater Restoration, et cetera, come in.
Yeah, and I can't imagine Dorian is up at level 8, maybe. I don't know what he's been up to, but he did say things were kind of hairy on his end of the deal, too.
We did that, yeah. Who knows? I mean...
who knows what's going on over there. Yeah. But yeah, they snuck all the way up to the fucking Solstice Eve.
I am super, super surprised with the way that Campaign 2 ended that we haven't seen Caleb or Bo yet. That's more of the surprise to me, because they made the promise that they were going to watch the Cerberus assembly, and there's no way that Caleb and Bo aren't aware of what Ludinus is up to right now.
Well, I mean, as Matthew responded to Taliesin, he said, "Yeah, I've got a plan for sure."
Yep. Well, there's another fun little thing there, right? Is that there's been some fun speculation on the Reddits. That Ludinus isn't real, that he may be a clone, he may be
not of Trent, of Ludinus.
Ludinus Deleth may not be real.
Right.
There may not be an actual Ludinus Deleth. He might be an Aormaton in Ludinus skin. There's a bunch of like different, because the whole idea of him saying that he saw the calamity and he saw these things. Well, it's, elves live 800, 900 years tops. Yeah. So it's like, well, okay, if we're going canonically here, then that doesn't make sense. But there could be some fuckery going on. Who knows?
With magics and,
exactly.
Time dilation with the,
the whole idea, the whole idea that, he wants to get rid of divinity because he wants exclusive power of magic.
Yeah.
Like this whole idea of them wanting power. It's just, it all makes sense, but it's I don't know. A lot of unanswered questions.
A lot, yeah. And it's going to be that way until we get there. I'm going to win this one because I want to get this thing out here.
All right, let's do this.
With an 18, come on.
12.
All right, finally. Okay.
All of you.
You told us the name of the episode, but I think the name of the episode should have been Phone Calls, Flying, Shopping, and Flying. Because that's basically what happened in the first half, was just like, who should we call? And they're like, okay, let's rest again, get some things back, use some sorcery points, send some things out. A lot of Matthew being like, well, there's no way I can get there on time, in time for this. Like, I can't get there in 6 days. I'm laughing it off. Even Pike, he was sitting there and she was like, trying to process what they're saying, just basically being like, we're going to cover things on this end, but that's the best we can do. We're not going to fuck it, And Keyleth has been busy. She got the message laid out that you showed me, that you had that thing where she took care of the rift, right?
Yeah,
the one that we talked about?
So like I showed you, I wrote down the entire, I don't know why I did this, but I wrote the entire conversation. I don't know why, but I just started writing and I'm like, I'm just gonna write this whole thing. And then about halfway through, I was like, oh, fuck, this is way too long. But no, she said they closed the rift. There's a bunch of warriors. The rift is returned to its controlled state. Right. Lost some good warriors in the fight. Their sacrifice, remember to cherish, blah, blah, blah. I attempted to apprehend Virio, the head of the head of this Ashari sect of betrayers. But he vanished, shouting, the vanguard will prevail and the world will finally be free. So this is the whole point why she's messaging Orm, is like, she's like, the vanguard. You told me about this Ruby Vanguard, so I know it's about Ludinus. I'll meet you there.
Right.
That's the whole point of that thing. There's a sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but there's a fun moment in there at the end of it where she goes, please let us know where this Vanguard makes its work. Perhaps I can gather those. And as soon as she says the words gather those, Travis goes, Travis starts whooping and hollering silently. He's like, he's fist bumping the air, because I'm pretty sure he was thinking this is going to mean Vox Machina is coming in. But she says, perhaps I can gather those who can recover within the Ashari to help stand against Ludinus and his vanguard.
Right.
That's how she ends the message. And Travis sort of calmed down a little bit, I think, but I'm fairly certain he thought it was going to be Vox Machina coming in.
Right.
Fairly certain.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, oh, hey, let's get these level 20 characters to help these level 8 characters. Well, it's like, why don't they just say, like, hey, you guys take it easy. We're going to take care of this, Like, that's a big one that has to be considered. Yeah. There's a lot of level 20 in this world. A lot of it, just because of the first campaign. The second campaign, like, Caleb and Bo, they're up at 18 now. Is that what it was?
Whatever they are in that.
They had that. They had that one shot, right, or the 2 shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they got up to 17 or something.
16 to 17, 18, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, because they ended at 15, right? But then they got up to like 17 or something, right?
They went to 16, and then they said they were up a couple levels from that, so...
Yeah, there's a lot of really powerful motherfuckers in this world right now, and these guys are at level 8.
We haven't seen Bo and Caleb yet. It's weird. It's an odd thing. They should be paying attention. So maybe they are, maybe they're not.
But also, this group doesn't know them.
Yep.
So...
It's true.
Makes sense that they wouldn't come across them, because why would they? These paths haven't crossed.
Different continent, different...
Yeah, but Marquette, different rings of people.
Right, but if
Vox Machina didn't know them.
Yeah.
I mean, they knew who they were, kind of, to some extent. Yeah.
There's a lot of Shakespearean stuff going on here, too, which is kind of, this sort of weird idea that tossing back and forth. The whole idea of, Shakespeare talks a lot about the good versus evil, and the King Lear, Macbeth, those sorts of plays. I was just sort of like, this is always, I mean, it's a trope in D&D, right? This good versus evil, and who's watching who and who's looking after, and it's a lot of stuff going on.
So follow up to the
go ahead. That was your
follow up to that. That's what I would call the episode, because it was a long time and not a whole lot happened. What did we learn? What new information do we have from this episode?
Not much. Honestly, not much. I mean, we learned that, it's kind of them gathering allies and sort of, trying to find people that could help them out. No real new information about anything, but they've got Ira, Windigoth. They've got Keyleth coming there. They've I don't know. They're kind of ready. They've got some new magical items.
That was pretty cool. Yep. Like 13,000 plus the gems with all that stuff. Some real powerful shit there.
Yeah, this amulet of health is gigantic. And
Huge.
I'm glad they gave it to Laudna because I was like, give that to, but no, it makes more. I was thinking give it to Orym, but it actually makes more sense to go with Laudna. The circlet,
Laudna right away.
the little circlet. I thought it was kind of weird that it made sense that it would go to Imogen, but it kind of could have been maybe FCG or something else, maybe. The belt of momentum I felt could have gone either way to Orym or Ashton. It makes more sense to Ashton, but could have also gone there. And then the 2 potions of greater healing, they're good. That belt of momentum is going to be hilarious because if Ashton charges 25 feet, he does extra damage and then he knocks them 15 feet away. It's gonna get hilarious.
That opens up that battlefield quite a bit.
Has the potential to.
Yeah, it also would open him up or to the idea of charging that far because so far he's been not super mobile, whereas Orym definitely has been.
Mobile. Yep.
And with the small frame, I think the character would really enjoy being able to knock somebody back that far. You know.
Yep.
It doesn't get that opportunity much. You know.
Yeah.
Huh. And you've got the anti-magicness of this aura.
I was just looking. It's funny. I was just looking at that because that's right before that when they get to Bassaros and they get their stuff. When they look through the key and they look down into the ruins and they see the Trisham. What are they called? The Trisham ruins. That's a fun little lore drop. I guess we did get some the Tishten ruins.
There it is.
That's a fun little lore drop. We did. I think we had heard about it before, but it was
still called the Trish the Dish ruins.
The Trish the Dish. Nice. We did learn about them a little bit. Maybe we had heard about them before. I kind of forget. This ancient culture that followed ley lines and built structures around nexus points. Then this key where they built all of these arcane power supplies all over it. And this is where the apogee solstice is going to happen where the ley lines are going to intersect. And what did Iris say? Every minute on the minute it goes.
Right. Yeah.
And sends out the anti-magic pulse. Yeah. And then I think at the very end of the episode is when Liam says, anti-magic, huh? So this is what they're doing. They're building a giant key that's going to zap up space death laser up to the moon to anti-magic the gate. So the lattice is and then releases
whatever. We'll find out.
I think we find
in 2 weeks.
I think we find out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean they're on the eve, you know, and there's some other things here about. I mean, like I didn't have a whole lot for my own question. Like, what did we glean? Like, what new information do we have? Not a ton, really, not a ton. You know, because like I said, it was like phone calls to people. Yep. A lot of it was just like, sorry, can't help you, or we'll do what we can, and then nothing conclusive.
It was
flying,
a fun...
just like, you know, oh, there's a windstorm, you break your mast, so like you're just going to lose more days,
sure.
You know, and then they went shopping and then flying again, you know, it's just like a lot of time went into those kinds of things without anything really happening until the end when they had their conversations.
Yeah, and that's sort of my point, if I can raise that point. Ahead, this is where my point would be, my yes and. We get Imogen and Orym's conversation, then we get Imogen and Laudna's shipping conversation. A lot of people want to ship them, and I don't really understand why, but whatever. And then we get Ashton getting drunk and yelling at people who aren't there. We get FCG making the critical profiter rolls, which I thought was hilarious. Right. And then we get Fern playing Red Moon to the tune of Blue Moon, and that's the end of it.
Yeah,
and that's the end of. And I think there's sort of a. I felt like I suddenly had this feeling. I'm like, if this is episode 49, the symbology of episode 50, you get everybody stabilizing themselves, getting ready for this giant conflict that's going to happen at 50, and campaign over.
It's what it feels like. I mean,
it does. It really does.
You know, when Orm's sitting there and he did his fucking Liam thing where he's like, I'm going to meditate about all these fucking things that happened over the years, you know, and stuff like that. And then Imogen comes and interrupts it. I'm going to throw it in right here anyway. I don't know if she had plans on what to talk about because when she was talking with him, nothing really came of it.
No.
But maybe she was just like kind of trusting Liam being the smart guy and very sentimental guy that he is, that he would say something that was pretty profound, which he usually does, and he said something pretty nice, Yep. And then as soon as that was over, and she's like, I'm gonna go to Laudna now. Just like, I didn't get enough. I want more.
I think there was like I said, I think there was a lot of, they just needed to be centered. They're like, this is a big moment coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've talked about this before too. This whole entire campaign has been very Imogen centric. Yeah. I mean, a lot of this revolves around her. So it's, I think the reason why she was like, I need stability. I need to be stabilized. I need to be centered. I need to get this figured out. Yeah.
And in that case, it makes sense that she would go to Orem. He's sitting there meditating, It's like, well, come on, Imogen. He's meditating. Leave him alone. She's like, well, I need that fucking stability right now. So, okay, gotcha. And of course, she can find it with Laudna anytime, But it was a nice little conversation. But there was... Should we roll again? Because I just want to jump into these other points.
Sure.
Let's go ahead and roll again.
Or you could just, you want to roll, I mean, you could just say it. Okay. I'll do rollies.
Let's roll. We already got the graphic up anyway. I'm going to win with a 17. Hey, it's about time. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just going to go roll right into this one. At 1:53:22, when they were talking, Orem and Imogen were talking. Orem's line, which I had to go back and check it to get it right, he said they were talking about how it's not black and white, like we've all seen The Wire. It's like nobody's a bad guy, it's just like this.
I was talking about the Shakespearean good versus evil stuff here.
Yeah, it's like it kind of blur those lines. Like you can sympathize with anybody kind of thing. And like when Imogen talked with her mom that one time.
I've got it written down too.
Okay, so like she talked with her mom, and her mom was like, well, this is what, trust me, this is what needs to happen. It's like, well, Mom, I don't know if I can trust you because I'm my own person too, but you are making some good points. So she comes back and she's like, maybe she's not so wrong, kind of doubting what they're currently going towards. And then Orem's line, he says, it's pretty fucking harsh. I wish my family didn't have to die for your mom's better tomorrow.
I wrote it down too.
For her better tomorrow, I think is what he said.
Yeah, I wrote it down too. It's profound as fuck.
It's fucking harsh.
Yeah.
And he said it to her. Yep. And then she was like, oh, you're right. I understand. I was like, dude, that was harsh. You're just going to say, I understand after that? That was brutal. And I liked that line because I'm like, all right, well, now I'm kind of like, okay, Orem really seems to know what's going on here and kind of which path is objectively good versus bad. Because I trust him.
Isn't he the smartest or the second? Aren't him and Chutney the highest intelligence in the party?
Yeah, at like 11 or something.
Yeah, I think 13 and 14. I think
is that what it is?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's in the low
But it's
teens.
like this is again not a group of smarties. Like this is a kind of a campaign of dummies. Well, not dummies, but of average intelligence.
They're kind of dummies.
So it's sort of like I listened to that remark too, and I was like, oh. And then Laura or Imogen instantly being like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, just right away. It was like, yeah, you're right. I'm doing the right thing.
It was profound. It was a very profound moment. And I mean, that's a lot of where I was getting that Macbeth comment from. It's like, this is what is good? What is evil? Yeah. What are these concepts? Like they sort of fantasy in general kind of looks at these things and just goes, well, you're the protagonist, so you must be the good guy,
right?
And it's is that how this works? Because sometimes, I mean, sometimes,
not all the time, as they say in Taiwan.
What was the whole Cobra Kai take on the Karate Kid, like where this dude busts up the high school dance and he steals the guy's girl and then they go and beat him up for it. Like, of course you would. Like,
pretty standard.
Daniel is a fucking asshole. Yeah. He deserved to get the shit kicked out of him, but no, he's the good guy and they're the bullies. It's like, well, yeah.
Did you see what he did?
Are they? Yeah. So it's right. That whole thing is like,
yeah. I think that's why I love The Wire so much, just because it, blurred that line. They started you off. It's not good guys and bad guys. It's just people living life.
Totally. I know I wrote it down somewhere. There it is. I'm gonna guess end if that's okay.
Sure.
I got another timestamp at 2:48:50, 2 hours 48 minutes 50 seconds.
Love a good timestamp.
FCG contacts D. And this was, again,
that's right. Yeah.
I'm
Sexy ass
convinced.
motherfucking D.
I'm convinced he's Devaxian from Aor. He's like, the
I am
future is
now.
yours.
There are two. I mean, the way that they responded, they're like, "Oh, the sexiest fucking." Did you hear a sexy voice in your head?
The future is yours. There's more to come. I pulled you from the wreckage. All of these things. It's like, yes.
The word use, more to come, and then he makes this really cum flavored cookie, according to Imogen.
Oh, the salty cookie.
Jesus.
Woo. That's all I got, man. That's all I got.
I've got two quick ones here. They're not story based at all, but should I just rattle them out?
Go for it.
Rules of the hole. Was Matthew making these things up? Because he was like, if you throw it to the ceiling, you have to have some way for it to attach to the ceiling. But you and I were talking previously where, you just throw it on the wall, you just go in.
Yep.
Right? And it just goes, right? Drop it on the floor, that's easiest.
I believe the description says a flat surface.
Okay, and I see flat surfaces all around me, you know.
That's a GM DM rule. That's just a ruling. That's like, no, it's a hole. Holes only happen. It's not a cave. It's a hole. Yeah. So a hole is on the ground. That's it.
And he also said, if it's like this, but then you throw it on the ceiling, everything's going to fall out. Everything's going to fall out. The gravity that you have outside of the hole, right?
Good. I like that ruling. Makes sense.
Sure, I like it too. But if you throw it against the wall, everything that was on the bottom, they're going to, just go to the floor relative to your down. Yeah.
Totally. Good ruling. I appreciate it.
And then another one also, Matt, we know you're watching. I think it was in the first travel over the Hellcatch, and then Fern or Ashley rolls a 1 for the next trip, right? And then they go through the skill challenge. And I'm pretty fucking certain that Matthew was like, after the first roll of challenges or whatever for that natural 1, he was like, all right, well, 4 successes and 2 failures, right? Do you know where I'm going with this?
Do.
Okay, and then like when they traveled the second time, because the name of the episode is Phone Calls Flying, Shopping Flying, right? The second time they went flying, they were now down to Liam, and he rolled a 3.
Yep.
And then Matthew all of a sudden changed the tone of his song. What the fuck is the saying there? Changed the tune of his whistling. I don't know. There's a saying there, and he said 4 successes before 3 failures because somebody else rolled a 1, and that was like that counts as 2 failures, and then he all of a sudden he said it's 3 now. I'm like, Matthew, what are you doing? Is it because she rolled a natural 1?
I think so.
And then he rolled a natural 3.
Yeah, I think so.
And then maybe Matthew was like, well, that would mean already 2 has failed.
Yeah,
and then that would bring us into the apogee solstice, and I don't want to do that.
Maybe. I think there was a chance that they wouldn't make it.
Like, would you be prepared? Was he prepared for the apogee solstice to happen while they're en route?
What if every single one of them rolled 1s all the way through? He had to be prepared for it.
Right? Because they would have the solstice happen there. Everybody's over there, and then be like, well, I guess the ship goes down and rocks fall. Everybody dies.
It's weird. There's also another thing too. Like, I don't know, fate, destiny. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Listen.
Changebringer's been acting up.
That's really funny. They're I don't know. I mean, oh man, that's complicated.
Fucky,
Maybe there's some timey-wimey stuff going on there. We know time is soup.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like on this trip, the timing seems to be okay, but when they lose a day, they're like, it's a whole day closer.
Laura's expressions throughout the entire 6 days of traveling was just every single one. Her head was just sinking lower and lower and lower into that chair. And it's like, oh man, this is going to be dicey.
And the question is also at that point, either she's super curious about what's going to happen, or she knows something that she hasn't let on. Like maybe she has something that she wants to do.
6 in one, half dozen the other. I don't know, man. It could have gone either way, I think.
Not much to say until we get the next episode. We gotta wait 2 fucking weeks.
2 weeks.
However, we do get a 2-sided dive, right? We should.
Two-sided dive.
Yeah, and maybe some other weird content that they just throw in there sometimes.
Did you know that Critters in Taiwan is live right now on Twitch?
Oh, what?
My phone just popped up the notification now.
Hey, look at that. Yeah, it's been a little weird, isn't it? Yeah, I've checked on my phone before, and it's like, no, they're not live. I'm like, clearly are.
Clearly.
It's right there. We're live. Yeah. Well, that's the last of my points there, bud.
So we would get it. We will get a four-sided dive on March the 7th, and then the next episode will be March the 9th.
Whoa, wait. What? We don't get. Do we get anything tomorrow?
Why would we?
Don't those things usually come out on Wednesdays?
No, the first Wednesday, the first Tuesday of the month. Today's the 21st, bro.
But I want it tomorrow, Ben.
There's a lot of things we want. We don't always get what you want.
I'm going into the studio on the 4th and the 5th, and then I have to wait until after. Oh man, that's gonna be tough.
So are they
dude.
gonna do? They're off. They're off next week. They're off this week. Does that mean they're coming back before Four-Sided Dive? Oh, weird. So they're gonna come back.
Yeah,
they're off
that's
this
the
week.
part I thought. I thought it would maybe come out tomorrow or something.
They said the first 7th of March. So that means they're back on the 2nd of March, and then a four-sided. Oh man, that four-sided dive is gonna be sad.
Yeah.
So they're gonna kill everybody on episode 50, and then they're gonna come in on four-sided dive and go, "We're sorry."
And talk about how everybody's dead. Oh man.
Oh man.
Jeez. God, it's gonna be kind of tough, dude. I mean, since we don't get one this week,
Yep.
next week I go into the studio. That's not a whole lot of time I get to, that's 8 hours on some Saturday and Sunday.
Oh.
I'll just have to catch up on Monday, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah, there's time. There's time.
It's gonna be a big one.
And I have to watch it. I gotta watch this Last of Us too. Fuck, I can't believe it's been a whole day and I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, you know what you don't need when there's this much going on the television? Sleep.
Overrated.
Coffee.
I'm getting back on the coffee. It's
Monster energy drinks, Red Bull.
Yeah. Well, shit, man.
Hey, dude, I gotta get moving here. I got a puppy that needs.
I gotta go see my buddy Sway. He's gonna help me out with some fucking light bulbs and shit like that. And
light bulbs. Did you know that the tungsten filament in a light bulb burns at 2,200 degrees centigrade, and that it is 2 meters long? I did not know these things.
2 meters long? No, I didn't know. But I did know that the melting point of it is about 3,870 degrees Celsius to actually destroy it with heat.
Right. That's why it doesn't melt. It's quite strong. 2,200 degrees, and it's 2 meters long. It's 0.2 millimeters thick. Yeah, it's crazy.
Damn, that's a lot in there. It's the hottest melting point of any naturally occurring substance that we know of.
Cool.
Good knowledge.
All right, let's call this.
All right, let's call it. In the comments, we had a nice little somebody chimed in where I couldn't remember what Ashton's rhyme was, and he rhymed thimble with
Nimble.
nimble. That's what it was at 33:33, I believe he said.
It was a good one.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that for us. I forgot his name. I wanted to say Ben, but I don't think it's Ben.
No, it was somebody else.
It's a pseudonym of some sort.
Chris,
it seemed like.
I think, or
Was
Doug,
it Chris,
or Greg, or
fuck.
John.
Whoever you are, get in touch. Let us know.
Yeah, man,
what your name is.
we like you. We appreciate you.
Thanks for getting in touch. All right. Yeah, and we're gonna wrap it up here. Then get in touch down here, man. If you have anything to add, any questions to ask us, get in touch right down there. And if nothing else,
Good to go.
Find him on Instagram. He is Bad Boy Mr. Fun Times. Is that right?
That's
enough?
right. Bad Boy Mr. Fun Times at Instagram.ca.
.twitter.com. And you'll find me. Just find me on his comment sections because I love Bad Boy Mr. Fun Times. And if nothing else, then don't forget to love each other. Is it finally next Friday? Unfortunately. Peace, y'all. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Peace.